Alright guys, we're going to start this power ranking series off with the last place army in 40k. And if you're a part of Fritz's War Master Forum, a lot of you probably know, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now, that I am a big fan of the Imperium. I will usually play Imperium. And if you could look at my collections, I have Space Marines that I'm making into Imperial Fists. I've got Grey Knights. I've got a fairly decent start to Imperial Guard. And then I have Necrons, just to kind of break it up. And I'm looking to start another army at some point in the future. But I'm going to start this list, this power ranking, with the forces of the Imperium. Which saddens me. But, hear me out. You'll understand why the Imperial Knights take the last spot. Because when the Imperial Knights came out, back in mid-6th edition, a lot of people thought, wow, Imperial Knights, super heavy walkers, they have D weapons, this is going to be a major game changer. But you look at it now, and you hardly see any Imperial Knights. In fact, you hardly even see anyone run a full Imperial Knight army. I've seen it once. I have a buddy that has, I think, 5 Imperial Knights. And here's one reason why I have them here. When they came out, they were great. You only had 2 options, though. You had the Arian and you had the Paladin. You had 2 choices of weapons. Thermal cannon or the rapid fire cannon. Both great. One could easily deal with vehicles AV-13, 14, while the other one could take on AV-12, smaller, and a lot of troops. Basically, your swarm killer. Now, here's where the downside is. And probably the biggest reason why they're at the bottom. The first thing is, the way that the Imperial Knights are built, you can only have one shield facing active at a time with the Ion Shield. Granted, that gives you a 4-up invuln save, but you could still fail 4-up invulns. Just like you could fail 3-up invulns for Terminators for Storm Shields. However, if you have the Knights surrounded on all 4 sides with Meltas, okay, you roll your dice, you try and get through the Ion Shield, see if they can fail some 4-up invulns, they fail those. Now, you have 3 sides that you can easily knock down a Knight with. On top of that, if you got into close combat with the Imperial Knight, if done right, chances are you're not going to have much force at anything if the Knight gets to go first. If, say you had a character, or you had enough models, or multi-wound models, or potentially, we'll just throw it out there, potentially Thunderhammer, Storm Shield, Terminators, and you got 2 or 3 that survive, provided they actually charge, assuming that they charge. There's no shield, there's no save for the knight, so you could easily wreck the knight in close combat. Now, your forces may not survive after the explosion, but wouldn't be much of a surprise. I mean, that would be something to expect. That would be why you would use sacrificial units to try and take down a knight in close combat, because there's a chance they may not survive the resulting blast. Now, since 7th edition, and I don't remember after which codex came out, I almost want to say it was Necrons, but I could be wrong. But the Imperial Knights got an update. So they had a new model kit. They've got, I think, 2 or 3 additional variants that you could use. Importantly, they gave you the carapace on top. So you had your anti-air, you had your missiles, you had a new potential. They gave the knight formations. But as I said in the intro video to this series, I try not to judge, or try to eliminate, or not factor price into the rankings. But considering you're paying $140, $150, $160 per kit, that becomes one expensive army that, with so much stuff out there, looking at Necron, looking at Tau, looking at Space Marines, Eldar, Chaos, there's a lot that you can do to really negate the Imperial Knight. And as I said, the Imperial Knights, really, I've not seen them run a lot. In my local gaming group, the last time I saw Imperial Knights run was during a campaign back in June. And that was the last time my Imperial Knight saw action. So, while the Imperial Knights at the time were definitely game changers and definitely made an impact, now everyone kind of knows how to deal with them, how to negate them. Which is sad. I really wanted to see the Imperial Knights stick around, and I mean, they could still be potentially game changers. But with everything that's out there now, I don't see the Knight really standing up, and I really don't see a lot of people buying new Imperial Knights. Now, I personally would like to buy one of the new kits, because one of the variants has a Gatling cannon and a heavy thermal cannon, which would just be awesome. But then you have to ask yourself the question, with the relative ease of the Knight being able to be destroyed and take it out. Yes, the firepower is great. Movement's great. What you get with the Knight is great. But really, is it worth taking up the Allied slot in the 370, 375 points to put in when you could add 2, 3, maybe 4 other units. Because looking at it from Space Marine's perspective, for 375 points, that could easily be, a 5-man attack squad, Terminator squad. You could even do a Centurion Devastator squad for cheaper than 375 points. So what do you guys think? Do you think Knights should be higher than last place? Do you think Knights are still game changers? Or do you agree that they kind of have gotten lost in the shuffle? They're just that easy to take out that really, what's the point? They've got great weaponry, but if they get knocked out turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, then they haven't really paid for themselves in points. So what do you guys think?